Acostumbrarse a. This one is quite long. There is one word the first word is very long. Acostumbrarse. Brarse. Let's do it again. Acostumbrarse. And then a. Okay? Acostumbrarse a. Acostumbrarse a. Okay? So the pronunciation can be challenging here, but what does this mean? We have a verb again. Acostumbrar. Acostumbrar. Do you know the meaning of acostumbrar? Do you know the meaning of this verb? Yo acostumbro, tú acostumbras, él acostumbra. Man, that's a long verb. It means usually to get used to. To get used to. Also, if you have a habit, it could mean to be in the habit of. Okay? So if you're used to doing something, you can use this verb. And if you want to describe your habits, you can say, hey, for example, I usually read before sleeping. You can say acostumbro a leer antes de dormir. So it's just a habit, that you do. Also, it means to be accustomed to. Okay, so you're talking about actions that you do often and you're used to. Okay, so that's very interesting. But what does acostumbrarse a means? I think I pretty much said the meaning already. Acostumbrarse a, oh, by the way, we have again se, which means you can use reflexive pronouns with this verb. You will have to. You will have to. And then we have a, which means to in some situations. It can also be used in different ways, but it can mean to. Okay, to, to. So let me tell you that acostumbrarse a, let me just delete this. Acostumbrarse a means to get used to. So I said it a few minutes ago, to get used to. So essentially you're using the verb acostumbrar, but you are adding details. So if you want to talk about your habits, you need the verb acostumbrar plus the reflexive pronouns that are very often used in Spanish, and also a. So it's technically a phrasal verb, acostumbrarse a, to get used to. So let's look at some examples using this common phrase. Me acostumbré a vivir en la ciudad. Me acostumbré a vivir en la ciudad. This means I got used to living in the city. Some people like living in a city. Some others prefer a smaller place, smaller, I would say a town or a small town, or I don't know, maybe they like, big cities, small cities. There's so many options. And in this situation, we're just saying that somebody got used to living in the city, or I in this situation. Okay, so let's see how this sentence works. Me acostumbré a. So that is the phrase right here. So we have me, which is a reflexive pronoun, and it can mean me or I. Again, here it means I, okay, I. You can technically say yo me acostumbré as well, but you don't need yo, you need me, okay? Me acostumbré. Acostumbré is the verb conjugated in imperative tense for the personal pronoun yo, okay? And me acostumbré a, we just added the a, we have to. So me acostumbré a means I got used to doing something. Usually you add a verb right after the a, okay? So the verb has to be in the infinitive form, which means do not conjugate the verb, just leave it as is. In English, you have the gerund, right? Living. In Spanish, we don't have the gerund. We have the infinitive form. So vivir means to live. So technically, it's similar to saying in this specific situation, living. Okay, me acostumbré a vivir. I got used to living. In the ciudad. Ciudad means city. Okay, me acostumbré a vivir en la ciudad. I got used to living in the city. Very good, very good, very good. Now, the next example. Let's look at the next example. Oh boy. Nos acostumbramos al clima frío. Nos acostumbramos al clima frío. We got used to the cold weather. Man. I don't know if I can get used to cold weather, honestly. I don't think so. But some people like, cold weather. Some others not that much, not so much, but it's interesting. So, nos is a reflexive pronoun, and in this situation means we, okay? You can say nosotros nos, because personal pronouns and reflexive pronouns can work together, okay? Even though you're saying technically twice we, it's possible. You can say nosotros nos. But you don't need nosotros because you have the reflexive pronoun here and also the verb, conjugated verb. So, nos acostumbramos al. We have what we're learning right now, right here. Acostumbramos is the verb acostumbrar, conjugated, and then we have a. Okay, but what's happening here? We have the letter L. What is it? Why? Nos acostumbramos a, by the way, means we got used to. Of course. But we have al as opposed to a because technically we're talking about clima, right? Clima. And if you want to say the, well, you need el because clima is a noun and it's also masculine. I know it looks like a feminine noun, but it's not. Clima is masculine. El clima. It's not la clima. La clima, no, wrong. It's el clima. El clima. Okay? So, when you have this happening in Spanish, when you have a and then you have el, that automatically becomes al. Okay? Al. It's wrong to say él unless you're saying to him, but that's a different thing. when talking about to the, and if the in Spanish is masculine, then it has to be al. Okay? So if you have a él, it needs to be al, not a él. Okay? Al. And that means to the clima. Clima means weather. Okay? Weather. ¿Cómo está el clima? How's the weather? Okay, so clima means weather. And also frío. When you say clima frío, that means cold weather. You can say clima cálido. Cálido means hot weather. Clima cálido, the whole thing. Cálido means it's a different way to say hot when talking about weather, okay? You can also say caliente, clima caliente, that's also correct. But a different way to say hot weather in Spanish is clima cálido. Clima cálido, okay? So hot weather. Excellent. So as we can see here, we have used the phrase that we're learning. We have it here and we have it here. Okay? So it's quite interesting that acostumbrarse a means to get used to. Acostumbrarse. Remember that verb acostumbrar. You need to just say this verb over and over to nail the pronunciation. It can be a little challenging, but it's not impossible. Acostumbrarse or acostumbrar. Okay? Excellent. Do you guys have any questions? Hello, Greeny King. Hi, I was wondering why the first example is in the past tense, but the second is in present tense. Acostumbramos. You mean acostumbré and acostumbramos? Is that the question? Or is it also past tense? I don't know. It looks like present to me. Okay, sometimes in this situation as well, acostumbramos, sometimes it can be present and sometimes it can be preterite, past tense. When talking about this verb acostumbrar, when you say nosotros acostumbramos, can mean we used to, or nosotros acostumbramos a, we used to, or it can also be used in present tense. Preterite tense. So it's the same conjugation. If you look at the conjugation of the verb acostumbrar, it can mean both. I can show you here. I think I can show you. Like for example here, might be too big, but you have present tense. Yo acostumbro, tú acostumbras, él, ella, usted acostumbra, nosotros, nosotras acostumbramos, right? We have acostumbramos. And also we have acostumbramos in preterite tense, preterite simple past tense. So sometimes that happens with some verbs that present tense can also be present tense. So, yeah. Simple past. Okay? Simple past. But, yeah, it can happen. It can happen. So you're technically right, but because it's the same, it can be past tense and present tense. It all depends on the context. But yeah, I understand what you're saying. Great question, by the way. Eddie Barrios. Hello. ¿Cómo estás, Eddie? How are you? Or you might have answered how la, al, from el, la, al, from el. I understand. Okay, I'm not sure about that question. Okay, good. Okay, so we're good. Excellent.